Hey guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a what's for dinner meal prep edition. So these are some of our favorite meals that we have for dinners and lunches, and I just made it for meal prep this week. So stick around and see what we have, and I hope you guys enjoy. So we just got back from the store and we got quite a bit of meat because I got what we wanted to use for this week and next week. Also got some that was on sale. So we got a brisket. Brisket was on sale. We've never cooked a brisket in our life, but we got one. This one was normally $110 and we paid $36 for it. So I think I'm gonna cut it in 4 different pieces and try to smoke it. Maybe we can put it in the crock pot. I don't know if you can do that with brisket, but I'm gonna Google it or Pinterest it and see. So I got some ground pork for some egg roll in a bowl, some Italian sausage for zuppa Toscana soup. It's the soup they have at Olive Garden. Chicken for chicken quesadillas. Some ground turkey for some unstuffed peppers. And then we got 4 pork loins. This is just one of them. I'll put the rest in the freezer. But I'm going to cook this for breakfast and lunch. I got some ham to cube up and use for breakfast. And then some bacon to go in our soup. I also got some little individual things of yogurt because these were on sale and I had a rebate on Ibotta for them. So I got 12 of them. You had to get 12 to get the rebate. But I got some blueberries, some vanillas, and then mostly strawberry. And this is the rest of our groceries. I'll kind of run through it. But we got some Lay's stacks, some salsa, chicken pot pies for some easy and quick lunches, bananas, avocados, water chestnuts, green chilies, this Alfredo sauce. I love Ragu Alfredo sauce and I've not found one that beats it, so I always get the Ragu. We've got some of this Cheetos mac and cheese because I had a rebate on it, some apples for a snack this week, tortilla shells for quesadillas. These were on the buy 5 get 5, so we're going to try those. And then these Jumbo Fruit Loops looked really fun and pretty, they look like a pretty good, simple, easy thing to throw in lunch boxes for snacks or lunches while we're at work. Got a thing of eggs. Back here we've got a chopped salad kit. I don't buy these unless they're on sale because they're like $8. But this one, if they have cabbage in them, they last for a super long time. So I usually try to pick one of those up when I see it on sale. And then got some coleslaw mix for those egg rolls in a bowl. Some already chopped up kale for the zuppa Toscana soup. And then up here in the front, I've got a thing of plain yogurt. I had a rebate for these nut pods, buy one get one free. So we got the cinnamon swirl one and then just the original one. It's a almond and coconut creamer. And then of course, I had to pick up our favorite creamer, which is this Chobani vanilla creamer. Another thing I had already threw in the fridge was this Justin's protein bar. It was dark chocolate chip. It was just a little gooey after we had headed home. So I added this in the fridge, and then we got some things that are already in the freezer that I'll show you. So to speed things up a bit, I'm going to go ahead and cut all my veggies I need. I've got some onions here, carrots, and celery along with all those bell peppers. This is just going to make cooking time a lot easier so I don't have to stop every single time I'm cooking something to chop everything up. So our first meal is going to be zuppa toscana soup. We get this at Olive Garden and we all love it. So I found this recipe that we make at home and it is just as good. So we're going to use some of that kale, the Italian sausage, bacon, and some potatoes we already had. So to start the zuppa toscana soup, I'm going to take some bacon and cut it with my kitchen shears. I'm going to cut it down the middle and then across to make little bitty chunks of bacon. And you can do this like after you cook it. I just find it easier that when it goes in the pan, it's already done and I don't have to pull it out, mess with it, and then add it back in. So I'm just cutting it into like little bite-sized pieces. You can do this with a knife, but I just find kitchen shears are so easy to work with. And you can cut this up as tiny as you want it to be, and you can add as much as you want. So I'm adding in about 3-4 slices, and then we're going to add our onions into this along with our Italian sausage. Okay, into this I'm going to add in some of our onions and then our mild Italian sausage. Okay, now to our meat for the zuppa toscana soup, I'm going to add in a good amount of garlic, some parsley, some basil, and some red chili flakes. I also sprinkled in some celery and carrots in here, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, so I'm actually going to add in 2 cups of broth. I added bouillon cubes because I don't have any broth. So I'm just going to let that get pretty warm so I can deglaze the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to add our potatoes in and 2 more cups of water. So I've got about 5 potatoes in here just because I want to stretch it throughout the whole week. And if you want to, you can add some broth later in the week. Okay, so 2 more cups is going in here. I had 6 bouillon cubes. So for every bouillon cube, do a cup of water, but I done 2 extra because we're going to add in milk later on. We're going to add some fresh ground pepper to this and then bring it to a boil. And I'm also going to add in a cup of bone broth. I've been trying to add a little bit into like our soups and recipes because it's supposed to be really good for you. So now working on our second meal, I've got some water boiling to cook our rice noodles. I don't know if you can see that. To cook our rice noodles, you put them in boiling water, stir them occasionally, and cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm going to put the whole pack in here. And we'll come back and kind of visit these periodically. I'm first going to get them all down in the water though. Or try to. There we go. Okay, so these are going to cook 3 to 4 minutes. I'm going to leave the spoon in there so it doesn't overboil. So now going back to our soup, our potatoes are pretty much done. I've got this huge bag of kale here. This is already washed and ready to go. You can buy like kale you can chop, but this is like so much easier. And you get a ton of kale. So this is 16 ounces. I'm going to add in about half. It's going to seem like a lot, but it's going to cook down. Add in another handful. And then I'm going to add in our milk. The recipe calls for heavy cream, so if you got heavy cream, you can add that, but I do not, so I'm just adding in whole milk. And I'm going to press that down and bring it to a boil. So next up is the egg roll in a bowl. What we're going to use for this meal is going to be the coleslaw mix, that ground pork, and the rice noodles, along with a couple things I already had. And once you have these, they will last quite a while. Is the seasoning sauce and fish sauce, and then of course we always keep soy sauce. So if you don't have those 3 things, that's something you will definitely need for this recipe, along with some other spices. Okay, so now that our ground pork is all cooked, we're going to add in our slaw mix. I'm adding in this entire bag almost. I'm holding on to a little bit of it. So we're going to mix that around in there. Honestly, I might take some of that out. Looks like a lot. About a teaspoon of sugar. Maybe more like a tablespoon. Then we're going to add about 3 splashes of oyster sauce. This is another ingredient that I already had, but it lasts a really long time. going to add in a couple splashes of fish sauce. And then a couple more splashes of seasoning sauce. Then we're going to give this a really good stir and let the cabbage cook down. And we're just going to let the cabbage cook down, add it to our bowl with our noodles. Okay, now that our egg roll in a bowl is done, all I'm going to do is get some of these noodles and cut them up in this mixture. You could do without this if you wanted to. Sometimes I even leave the noodles out of this and just serve it on rice, and that's our carb with it. But I really like these noodles mixed in. It gives it a different type of texture that I really like. And all you have to do is get some kitchen shears and cut them. And that is the finished product. So now for the third meal is a taco lettuce wrap. These are super good and easy to make and a perfect summer dinner. I'm going to use part of that ground turkey, some of those romaine hearts is going to be our taco shell, and then that bag that I was going to make pico out of earlier, along with a couple ingredients I already had, which was this can of green chilies, packet of ranch mix, and a packet of taco mix. So now in this other pot, I have added the rest of the ground turkey, and we're going to make our taco meat. So now all of our turkey is cooked for our taco meat. I'm going to add in a huge spoonful of tomato paste, about a tablespoon of the Mexican chili powder. And some people might not care, but you gotta get this kind. If you get like the off-brand, it's not any good. And then a 7-ounce can of green chilies. I'm gonna also fill it up with water to rinse it out. And then some taco seasoning. And a packet of ranch dip mix. And then you're going to stir that really well. Get it all mixed in. Try not to slosh it out of your pan. And then you're just going to let this cook down and reduce the liquid that's in here. I also don't know if I recorded, but I added some salt and pepper into this too. Now to use the rest of the ground turkey, I'm going to make some unstuffed peppers. And I'm going to use, of course, the rest of the ground turkey, those bell peppers, and then I'm going to use some petite diced tomatoes I already had. So now on to the unstuffed peppers. I'm going to put half of this ground turkey in this pan to brown. So this is really where I'm going to get in a lot of our vegetables. I'm going to add in probably about a half a cup of carrots in here. And then I'm going to add in all this celery. And then instead of using my diced up onions, I'm going to use some dried onions. And I guess I can use the rest of my onions because I have a red onion for pico, so I can put the half of that in pico, half of it in the taco meat. And wait until all this gets cooked really good and brown it, and then we're going to add in all of our seasonings. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of garlic, a heaping teaspoon of garlic, a little over 2 cups of peppers, 1 14.5 ounces of petite diced tomatoes, and I'm going to fill this up with water and add it into it. And then I'm going to fill the can up almost full with water and rinse the can out. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of parsley, maybe about 2. A little dash of thyme, probably about a half a teaspoon maybe. A tad bit of basil. And then I would usually add oregano to this, but I don't think I have any. Okay, never mind, I found it. It just wasn't open. Or about a teaspoon of leaf oregano. And some salt and pepper. And then you're going to stir this up really well. And then I'm going to add a big spoonful of tomato paste along with about a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to let this come to a boil and reduce down so all that liquid is out. So now while our taco mix and unstuffed peppers are cooking, we're gonna cut up all of our stuff for our pico. And these are 2 little jalapeno peppers that came out of our garden. I'm so proud of them. But we're going to uncore these, decore them, whatever you call it, because we don't want it too spicy. So I'll be back. Okay, and ignore my mix match patterns. I had to change into my PJs because I was burning up. So we're gonna cut these into the tiniest little slivers that we can because we want these spread out throughout the whole thing of pico. We want little bitty bites of jalapeno. Jalapeno, 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 jalapeno. I don't know. It just sounded weird. You guys ever say words and it sounds like you're saying them wrong or not saying them how you normally say them? So last thing I'm cooking is this chicken. So I had all of the tendons, like the little white thing that runs in the middle of them, taken out. I've got my skillet over here. I'm going to heat it up with some olive oil, and then I'm just going to season this chicken with salt, pepper, garlic salt, and onion powder. So let's get started. So our chicken is done cooking. I let it rest a little bit, and I'm going to share with you guys the easiest, quickest way to cut up your chicken. Kitchen shears. I love my kitchen shears. I use them for everything. I rave about them to anybody that will listen, but kitchen shears is where it's at. So, no need for a cutting board. You literally just cut it. The easiest, quickest way to cut up chicken if you're not looking to use a whole bunch of different tools. Kitchen shears, use them for everything. So I want to do a run through of everything we made while we were meal prepping. So starting over here, this is the zuppa Toscana soup, a big huge bowl of pico, leftover rice noodles, unstuffed peppers, egg roll in a bowl, taco meat, just plain basic chicken, and fried bacon. So this is starting on our breakfast meal prep, but the rest of this is going to be for lunches and dinner. Okay, and this is the rest of the meal prep. So I'm going to put this stuff in the freezer to be already cooked for next week. This is the other half of that chicken. Then we've got just a little bit of that stuffed, this is the egg roll in a bowl. Then we've got half of that taco meat, unstuffed peppers, a little bit of zuppa Toscana soup because I really think we'll eat all this week, and then the rest of my tomato paste. So all of this will go in the freezer for next week or whenever this stuff runs out. So all of this stuff is going to be what we eat on this week. Leading into next week, our big courses or main things are the soup and then the taco meat back here with the bunch of pico. We'll make those lettuce wraps with it and taco salads. Everything but the bacon is for lunches and dinner. This is for easy, like quick breakfasts. I can just scramble a couple eggs, get a couple pieces of bacon, and I'm ready to go. I'll also cook some rice with this because we'll eat it with the unstuffed peppers, the chicken, the taco meat. We'll eat it with about everything here other than probably the egg roll mixture. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. It means the world to me, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. I have been trying to get back on track with meal prepping and having some food ready for us throughout the week, and this seems like it's been the best way to do it. But if you guys do it some other way, let me know. I'm always up for suggestions and trying to find an easier, more efficient, quicker way of doing some meal prep. But if you guys try any of those recipes, let me know how you guys like them, and I'll see you on the next one.